Jason short story. I remember the cold floor surrounded by crumpled papers. Another grand plan abandoned. For years I told myself I wasn't ready, my work not good enough. The fear of failure kept me stuck, a prisoner to my own potential. Then one Tuesday morning something shifted. I didn't decide to conquer the world, I just decided to open my laptop for exactly 15 minutes. No pressure, no judgment, that tiny, consistent choice was the crack in the dam. Slowly I built something real. I launched my first small project, imperfect but finished. The incredible relief of finally acting, of moving forward, was the breakthrough. You have that power too. Don't let perfection stop you. Today, choose one small step. Open that blank document, tie your shoes for a walk, or send that one email. Full story, I remember the weight of the silence, sitting on the cold floor, surrounded by crumpled papers. Another grand idea, another big plan, abandoned before it even truly began. It wasn't just the paper, it was the heavy feeling in my chest, a dull ache of regret and unfulfilled potential. /n for years, that was my story. I was the person with brilliant concepts, the one who could talk for hours about what if /n someday. I had notebooks full of innovative projects, business ideas, even outlines for books. My friends would listen, excited, and always ask, when are you going to start? My answer was always some variation of soon. I just need to perfect it first, I'm waiting for the right moment. The truth was, I was terrified. Terrified of failure, yes, but also terrified of success, of the responsibility that might come with actually bringing something real into the world. That internal voice was a constant companion, whispering, you're not good enough, you'll mess it up, why even try? And this pattern didn't just affect my creative pursuits, bled into every area of my life. My health goals were always starting next Monday. My relationships sometimes suffered because I'd avoid difficult conversations, putting them off until the perfect time. I saw myself as someone who lacked discipline, who couldn't follow through. It wasn't just a habit, it felt like a core part of my identity, a deep-seated belief that I was fundamentally flawed when it came to execution. I was an expert at starting, but a stranger to finishing. /n. The change didn't come with a grand epiphany or a sudden burst of motivation. It happened on a dreary Tuesday morning. I was staring at a blank screen, procrastinating on a small personal project I desperately wanted to launch. The usual resistance was there, the overwhelming feeling of too much to do, too little time, and frankly, too little talent. But that day, for some reason, a different thought crept in. What if I just showed up for 15 minutes? Not to finish it, not to make huge progress, but just to open the file. Just to sit there, even if I did nothing. I set a timer on my phone. /n, it sounds almost ridiculous, doesn't it? 15 minutes. But the magic wasn't in the time. It was in the removal of pressure. It wasn't about willpower anymore. It was about lowering the barrier to entry until it was practically non-existent. My only goal was to be in the chair, with the laptop open, for that tiny window. /n, those first few weeks were a battle. Some days, I'd stare at the screen for the entire 15 minutes, feeling utterly unproductive. Other days, I'd manage to type a single sentence, or maybe just organize a few files. The old voice would still chime in, /c. I told you so. This is pointless. But I kept my promise to myself. 15 minutes every weekday morning, no matter what. /n slowly, almost imperceptibly, things began to shift. There was a morning when I got so engrossed in what I was doing that the timer went off, and I genuinely hadn't noticed. I had actually created something, a small piece of my project, and felt a tiny spark of excitement. It wasn't a huge leap, but it was a step. /n I missed days, of course. Life happens. There were times I woke up feeling exhausted, or overwhelmed, or just plain unmotivated. On those days, the temptation to just skip, it was immense. I'd feel guilty, that familiar shame creeping back. But I learned to forgive myself. The rule wasn't about perfection. It was about consistency. If I missed today, I'd just start again tomorrow. The power wasn't in never failing, but in always restarting. /n. I began to share tiny, imperfect snippets of my work with a trusted friend. Her feedback wasn't always glowing, but it was honest and constructive. And I didn't crumble. That was a huge win. Each small, imperfect action chipped away at the old identity. It wasn't about grand gestures. It was about showing up day after day for those quiet 15 minutes. It was about realizing that consistency, even in small doses, creates an unstoppable momentum. /n the true breakthrough wasn't a single moment. Was the cumulative effect of those countless 15-minute sessions. I wasn't waiting for inspiration. I was creating the conditions for it. The project, which once felt like an insurmountable mountain, was slowly, steadily getting built. There were still frustrating moments of self-doubt, but they no longer completely derailed me. The identity shift was profound. I stopped thinking of myself as someone who can't finish things and started seeing myself as someone who shows up. And eventually, I completed that project. It wasn't perfect, not by a long shot. It had flaws, things I'd do differently next time. But it was done. Launching it, sharing it with the world, was a feeling of quiet, powerful triumph that far surpassed any fear I'd ever felt. It wasn't just relief. It was a deep-seated confidence that came from knowing I could set a goal and, through consistent, small action, bring it to fruition. This success, however, modest, gave me the permission I needed to start other things, to tackle bigger challenges, and to trust in my own ability to follow through. /n/and what I learned, and what I want you to truly understand, is this. The smallest consistent step is infinitely more powerful than the biggest intention. Don't wait for motivation to strike. Don't wait for perfection. Build the habit of simply showing up. Down whatever daunting goal you have, until the very first step is ridiculously easy. Make it so small that it feels almost silly not to do it. Then just do that tiny step. Every single day. It's not about grand willpower. It's about making it effortless to start and letting momentum carry you forward. /n/and this principle isn't confined to creative projects or work tasks. It applies to your health, your relationships, your personal growth. What's that one thing you've been putting off? That dream you've let gather dust, convinced you're not ready or not disciplined enough? You are not stuck. Power isn't in a sudden, overwhelming burst of energy. It's in the quiet, persistent, almost invisible choice to take one tiny, imperfect action. Let go of the need for perfection. Embrace the power of simply beginning, and then doing it again tomorrow. /n/in today, choose one small step. Make that challenging phone call, write the first sentence of that idea, or take that literal first step outside for a walk. Session id. Story 20,231,027,103,000.